Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss an important concept in calculus, that is integrals. Integrals. It is a part of calculus. This entire calculus is divided into two parts: derivative, integration. Generally, integrals are used to find area of plane surfaces and volume of the solids. Before that, first we discuss how to find integral of the given function. The process of finding integral is called integration. In previous classes, we have already learned how to find derivative of the given function. Here, integration is the reverse process of differentiation. Integration is the reverse process of differentiation. For example, we know that d by dx of sin x, that is equal to cos x. D by dx of sin x is equal to cos x. Here cos x is called derivative of sin x. Now sin x is called antiderivative of cos x. Sin x is called antiderivative of cos x. If cos x is the derivative of sin x, then sin x is called antiderivative of cos x or primitive of cos x. This antiderivative is also called as primitive. Antiderivative or primitive. In the same way, we observe d by dx of sin x plus 1. D by dx of sin x, that is cos x, plus d by dx of 1, derivative of any constant is 0. So d by dx of sin x plus 1, this is also cos x. D by dx of sin x plus 2, derivative of sin x cos x, derivative of 2 0. So d by dx of sin x plus 2, this is also cos x. In general, d by dx of sin x plus any constant c, this is cos x. Here also, derivative of sin x plus 1, sin x plus 2, sin x plus any constant c is cos x. Now, in this case, antiderivative of cos x is sin x plus 1. In this case, antiderivative of cos x is sin x plus 2. In this case, antiderivative of cos x is sin x plus c. So you observe, in this case, antiderivative of cos x is sin x. In this case, antiderivative of cos x is sin x plus any constant c. So here, if sin x is antiderivative of cos x, sin x plus c is also antiderivative of cos x. Always if sin x is antiderivative of cos x, sin x plus c is also antiderivative of cos x. This antiderivative is called integral and it is denoted by the symbol. You write simply s and enlarge this, you get this symbol. Now we represent this as integral cos x dx is equal to sin x plus c. This symbol represent antiderivative. Antiderivative or integral cos x with respect to x is sin x plus c. Here this c is called constant of integration. In this way, integration is treated as a reverse process of differentiation. You take any example, d by dx of x square is 2x. Derivative of x square is 2x. Here 2x is the derivative of x square with respect to x. Now this x square is called antiderivative of 2x or primitive of 2x. This is about integration. All formulas are deduced from derivatives. Now first we discuss the definition of derivative. Now here we see integral of cos x is sin x plus c. From this case, integral of cos x is sin x plus 1. From this case, integral of cos x dx is sin x plus 2. You observe that here c take the value 1, here c takes the value 2. For different values of c, you get different integral values. So here this integration is indefinite. The value of integration is indefinite. So it is called indefinite integration. Now we discuss the definition of integration. Write the definition of integration. If f of x, capital F of x is an antiderivative of small f of x, then f of x plus c, where c is any real number r, is called indefinite integral of small f of x. With respect to x, and it is denoted by integral of f of x dx. You read it as integral of f of x dx. Here C is called constant of integration. C is called constant of integration. If capital F of x is an antiderivative of small f of x, that means here d by dx of small f of x is capital F of x. Then f of x is called antiderivative of small f of x. Then capital F of x plus c, where c is any real number, is called indefinite integral of small f of x with respect to x, and it is denoted by integral of f of x dx. Here c is called constant of integration. See one more example. D by dx of tan x. We know d by dx of tan x is secant square x. Here secant square x is the derivative of tan x with respect to x. Now tan x is called antiderivative of secant square x. That antiderivative is called integral. So here secant square x dx is equal to antiderivative of secant square x is tan x. So integral of secant square x dx is tan x plus you write c, where c is constant of integration. Why we write this constant c? You see d by dx of tan x is secant square x, d by dx of tan x plus c is also secant square x, but in this case c is 0. In this case c is 0. So generally you write integral secant square x as tan x plus c, where c is any constant. In this way, antiderivative of the given function is called integral. So this integral is the reverse process of differentiation. Now we see some standard formulas in integration. Integrals of standard functions. Integrals of some standard functions. We write both the formulas in derivatives and as well as integrals. Derivatives, here integrals. First, d by dx of x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 is equal to, see here d by dx of x power n is n into x power n minus 1. d by dx of x power n plus 1 is n plus 1 into x to the power of n plus 1 minus 1, that is x power n by n plus 1. N plus 1 get cancelled. So it is x power n. If d by dx of x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 is x power n, then this x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 is called antiderivative of x power n or integral. In terms of integral, you write it as x power n into dx is equal to x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 plus c. If derivative of this function is x power n, then this function is called antiderivative of x power n. This antiderivative is called integral. So integral x power n dx is equal to x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Similarly, d by dx of x, you know derivative of x is 1. We write this in terms of integral as integral 1 dx, that is equal to x plus c. Next, d by dx of sin x, derivative of sin x, that is cos x. Cos x is derivative of sin x, then sin x is antiderivative of cos x or integral of cos x. Plus c. d by dx of minus cos x, this is sin x. d by dx of cos x is minus sin x. So d by dx of minus cos x is sin x. Therefore, integral of sin x dx is equal to minus cos x plus c. d by dx of tan x, that is secant square x. So integral of secant square x dx is tan x plus c. Next, d by dx of minus cot x, cosecant square x. So integral of cosecant square x dx, that is minus cot x plus c. d by dx of secant x, that is secant x into tan x. Derivative of secant x is secant x into tan x. So integral of secant x into tan x is secant x. Secant x plus c. d by dx of minus cosecant x, that is equal to cosecant x into cot x. So integral of cosecant x into cot x dx, that is equal to minus cosecant x plus c. d by dx of sin inverse x, that is 1 by root of 1 minus x square. From this, integral of 1 by root of 1 minus x square to dx is equal to sin inverse x plus c. D by dx of cos inverse x, that is equal to minus 1 by root of 1 minus x square. In integration, or you write it as d by dx of minus cosecant inverse x is equal to plus 1 by root of 1 minus x square. From this, integral of 1 by root of 1 minus x square dx is equal to minus cos inverse x plus c. You may take either this formula or this formula for integral of 1 by root of 1 minus x square dx. D by dx of tan inverse x, that is 1 by 1 plus x square. So, integral of 1 by 1 plus x square dx, that is equal to tan inverse x plus c. D by dx of minus cot inverse x, 1 by 1 plus x square. We know d by dx of cot inverse x is minus 1 by 1 plus x square. Take this minus sign to this side. So, d by dx of minus cot inverse x is equal to 1 by 1 plus x square. So, integral of 1 by 1 plus x square dx is equal to minus cot inverse x. Next, d by dx of secant inverse x, 1 by x into root of x square minus 1. In integrals, we write integral of 1 by x into root of x square minus 1 dx is equal to secant inverse x plus c. D by dx of minus cosecant inverse x is equal to 1 by x into root of x square minus 1. In integral, we write 1 by x into root of x square minus 1 dx is equal to minus cosecant inverse x plus c. Next, we know d by dx of e power x is e power x. So, integral of e power x dx, that is equal to e power x plus c. You see here, derivative of e power x is the same function e power x. So, this e power x is the antiderivative of e power x. D by dx of a power x by log a. D by dx of a power x is a power x into log a. A power x by log a. Here log a get cancelled. So, derivative of this is a power x. Now integral a power x dx is equal to a power x by log a. D by dx of log mod x, we know derivative of log x is 1 by x. So integral of 1 by x dx is equal to log mod x plus c. You write plus c to each formula. So in this way, all the formulas in integration are deduced from derivatives. Just you write it in reverse order. If d by dx of sin inverse x is 1 by root of 1 minus x square, then simply integral of this function is sin inverse x plus c. We write some hyperbolic functions also. D by dx of sin hx, that is equal to cos hx. So integral of cos hx is equal to sin hx. D by dx of cos hx, this is sin hx. So integral of sin hx, that is cos hx plus c. D by dx of tan hx, that is secant h square x. So integral of secant h square x is tan x plus c. D by dx of minus cot hx, that is cosecant h square x. D by dx of cot x is minus cosecant h square x. So d by dx of minus cot hx is cosecant h square x. So integral of cosecant h square x dx is equal to minus cot hx plus c. D by dx of minus secant hx, that is secant hx into tan hx. So integral of secant hx into tan hx dx is equal to minus secant hx plus c. 22. D by dx of minus cosecant hx is equal to cosecant hx into cot hx. So integral of cosecant hx into cot hx dx is equal to minus cosecant hx plus c. These are the derivatives of hyperbolic functions. These are the integrals of hyperbolic functions. D by dx of sin h inverse x, that is equal to 1 by root of 1 plus x square. So, in integration, integral of 1 by root of 1 plus x square dx is equal to sin h inverse x plus c. D by dx of cos h inverse x, that is 1 by root of x square minus 1. In integration, we write 1 by root of x square minus 1 dx is equal to cos h inverse x plus c. These are the formulas in integration. You must prepare all these formulas thoroughly, then the problems becomes easier. All these formulas are deduced from derivatives. If you know the formulas in derivatives thoroughly, then the formulas in integration becomes easier. Now we discuss some properties in integrals. Properties of integrals. Properties of integrals. First one, for any real number, k, integral of k into f of x dx, that is equal to k into integral of f of x into dx. For example, integral of 5 into f of x dx, that is equal to 5 into integral of f of x dx, where 5 is constant. Take that constant from out of the integration. So we get integral of 5 into f of x dx is equal to 5 into integral f of x dx. In general, it is k, where k is any real number. Next, integral of f of x plus g of x to dx is equal to integral of f of x dx plus integral of g of x dx. Integral of sum of two functions f of x and g of x is sum of the integrals of two functions f of x and g of x. Similarly, difference integral of f of x minus g of x, this is equal to integral f of x dx minus integral g of x dx. Here integral of difference of two functions f of x and g of x is the difference of their integrals. It is the integral of f of x and it is the integral of g of x. Integral of k into f of x plus L into g of x to dx. Here k and L are any two constants. F of x and g of x are functions in x. This is written as k into integral f of x dx plus L into integral g of x dx, where k and L are any two real numbers. Next, d by dx of integral f of x dx is equal to f of x. See here, derivative of integral of f of x is f of x. Derivative of integral of any function is itself. Now we see how we get that. Let d by dx of f of x, capital F of x is equal to small f of x. Here derivative of capital F of x is small f of x. Small f of x is the derivative of capital F of x. So capital F of x is antiderivative of small f of x. Then capital F of x is an antiderivative of small f of x. If derivative of capital F of x is small f of x, then antiderivative of small f of x is capital F of x. Now what we find d by dx of integral f of x. Here capital F of x is antiderivative of small f of x. Then integral of small f of x dx is equal to capital F of x plus c. Capital F of x is antiderivative of small f of x. Antiderivative means integral. So integral of small f of x is capital F of x plus c, where c is any constant, where c is any real number. Now differentiate both sides with respect to x. D by dx of integral f of x dx is equal to d by dx of capital F of x plus c. This is d by dx of capital F of x plus d by dx of c, d by dx of capital F of x, that is small f of x, d by dx of any constant, that is 0. So we get d by dx of integral f of x is small f of x. From this, derivative of integral of any function is itself, because integration is the antiderivative. So derivative of antiderivative of a function is itself. Similarly, we prove this. Next property, integral of f dash x dx is equal to f of x plus c. Integral of derivative f dash x means d by dx of f of x. Integral of derivative of any function is itself. We know that, write the solution. We know that d by dx of f of x is f dash x. F dash x means derivative of f of x, d by dx of f of x. If f dash x is d by dx derivative of f of x, then this is called antiderivative of f dash x. So integral of antiderivative is integral. Integral f dash x dx is equal to small f of x plus c. Here f dash x is the derivative of f of x. So f of x is antiderivative of f dash x. Antiderivative is integral. So integral f dash x dx is equal to f of x plus c. We observe that derivative of integral of any function is itself. Otherwise, integral of derivative of any function is itself, because integration is the antiderivative of the given function.